Well, hey guys, how is everybody tonight? What is today? Today is Tuesday, I think. It's a weird week. We got holidays and different schedules for summer camps and work and this and that and the other. So it's a little nutso, but hey, par for the course. So where are you guys all listening from? I see somebody's from Susan is in Louisville. Hello. Christy is taking an evening walk. Where are you, Christy? Where is this evening walk of which you speak? Well, I'm here doing a little game planning for the week. Want to make myself available if you have some questions. And got some calendar stuff happening for later this week. So what do you got, guys? What's going on? Talk to me. So I got something interesting. I'm going to be posting this here in a little bit. Hot Houston, Texas. Tejas. So you guys are what, 3-4 hours behind? So it's 9 here. So what's that, like 5 o'clock there, 6 o'clock there? Yeah, I'm going to be posting something pretty interesting here in the next, hopefully tomorrow or maybe Thursday. Hello, Angela from Virginia. What part of Virginia? Oh, we got Lloyd from Michigan. Yeah, so this is coming. We were going through some stuff in our garage, and so if you don't know, my wife, she is amazing. She's an amazing nurse. She's overcome so many things in her life, but one of the things, she struggled off and on with her weight a lot throughout her life, and Appomattox, been there many a time, and in a previous life, she tried to look into some bariatric surgery and had some false starts, and never happened. Eventually in 2019, she did. And that's a whole other story I'll let her tell you about if you haven't heard it already from her. And using a proper human diet to keep that off, to maintain it, and to actually get markers back above where a lot of times they predict they're going to be. They talk a lot about malabsorption issues and such. So proper human diet has been a godsend for her in that regard as far as bariatric surgery. But what we found digging through some old papers was she found her old from someplace down in, I don't know if it was in Florida or I'm not sure, but this is the pre-op instructions. And let me just give you a little hint here. This is for someone who's trying to get ready for some bariatric surgery to mutilate their GI tract. Women, an 800 calorie per day diet. Breakfast of Slim Fast, lunch Healthy Choice or Weight Watchers or Lean Cuisine under 300 calories. Snacks, small apple, baby carrots, cucumbers, tomatoes, pickles. Dinner, Healthy Choice, Weight Watchers, or Lean Cuisine under 300 calories. You can add some steamed vegetables if you wanted to. Drinks, you can have Crystal Light with all the aspartame that you want. Water, tea with NutraSweet, more aspartame. Coffee, and diet soda. And that's it. That's all you get. So there's a little bit more to it than that, but my gosh, has anyone ever tasted a Lean Cuisine or a Weight Watchers meal? And what was your favorite? But somebody posting some of that. I'm going to also I'm looking up what her more recent pre-op instructions were, which were very different from that, I will say. And yeah, so you can see here, calorie deficit. Yeah, you're going to lose weight. There's no doubt about it. You will lose weight if you put yourself into that severe of a calorie deficit. The problem is it's not going to last. And in that case, it's not designed to last. It's designed to last long enough to have, a good portion of your stomach cut out or rerouted. So not cool. And had we known about a proper human diet before 2019, before we opted for the bariatric surgery, we would have. But we didn't know, so we didn't know that we didn't know. But that would have been such a much more sustainable route to go, just because you don't have to deal with absorption issues and uptake. A lot of factors going, and a lot of psychological factors that go in with that people don't realize. And that's one of the things I'm starting to lean into. We are starting to lean into more now, is the mental behavioral side of things, the mindfulness side of things. And we have some more stuff coming on that here in the coming weeks. But so what do you guys think? What do you think is a better alternative to bariatric surgery? I mean, obviously you're going to say PhD, but I mean, do you guys like keto, ketovore? And here's a question I'll pose to you, since no one's putting any questions in there. Answer me this. How do you guys feel about the polarization in this whole keto, low carb space out there on the interwebs? With, you got people that are just getting militant and dogmatic versus realizing that it's a spectrum. Where do you fall into that? And what are your takes on the polarization? How do you guys feel about that? And how do you think we can solve that in a peaceful way? Or do you not care? Do you just, this is what I'm doing and you're going to like it, I'm going to tell you whether you like it or not? Because there's a lot of fights happening out there on Twitter, on Instagram, and let's just say it's not exactly helping the cause when people are like, they're bickering and they're bitter, they're backbiting, and it's not helping anything. So tell me what you guys think while I look something up here real quick. And seriously, if you got a question, as long as it's not asking about a diagnosis or dosages of medications or something, anything else is fair game. If you want to talk about, chickens, rising up and ruling the world, we can talk about that. Okay, Angela says, this is what I'm doing, and if they ask, I will share. Good answer. Perfect. I like that. You don't shirk from it, and if they ask, you don't cram it down their throat, but you say, look, this I'm going to be me. I'm going to do this. This is working so far. I want to continue. And if you're asking me questions about it, I will gladly answer. But I'm sure we've all run into people that have been like, you need to do this. And let me just give you a little tip. Unasked for advice is always perceived as criticism. Take that for what you will. Let's see. Everybody's different, so you have to take that into consideration. Absolutely, Susan. Absolutely. What have we got here? Yeah. Yeah, Denise, the shakes were not good at all. I've never met any of those ready to go meal replacement shakes that I liked. And that's before you read the ingredients, because wow, they're just not good. The ingredients are just pitiful. Yeah, and I got to agree with you, Christy. Yeah, it is sad we can't all respect and share and support each other, even if it's, and it's a cliche now, but hey, you do you. That's fine. And see, that's where, and I've heard many influencers out there, Dr. Siwas, Dr. Barry, Dr. Pelz, a lot of them, they're just like, come on, we're all in this big ball of mud together, and we can all learn something from each other. You guys realize we can learn things from vegans. Oh, well, I don't do plants. I'm never going to eat another plant in my life. Fair. But you realize that we can learn thought habits, we can learn thought process, and we can learn things like stick to itiveness, dedication, discipline. We can learn that from our vegan brothers and sisters, as Dr. Barry calls them, because again, we're all on a journey. Never forget that. And guess what? You may be further along than somebody else who's just getting started. And I was talking with Mitzi Champion the other day, and we said, yeah, even if we've been doing this for years, I've been doing this almost 4 years now, and she's been doing it 7, 8, something like that, and never. My goal is I hope that I never forget what it's like to be brand new, because there was a point where I'd catch every possible live event I could. I'd set notifications and reminders, and I'd watch all the videos I could find from this one and that one and this one. And I have notebooks. I'll be taking notes. I'll be looking other things up. And I was just a sponge for knowledge. I still am. But I mean, when it's fresh and new, man, there's a feeling to that. Never forget what that feels like, because that's what keeps you fresh and open to new ideas too. And you're never in the same place in your life. That's why, some people, they'll be on keto for a while, and then we're like, it's, not doing what it was doing. It's not as effective. You turn the carb knob down a little. Okay, let's try ketovore. Oh, now we get something. Being able to shift back and forth, that's always going to be a big asset, a big tool in your bag. Let's see. Angela, yes, sent my daughter-in-law information today. And here's the thing. Once you send that information, just sit back, and when they have questions, they will ask. And if you're thinking, maybe it's been awfully quiet, one of the things you can do is you can always, people love to be helpful. People love to be involved. And if someone that you've shared information with is maybe a little quiet, you can just say, hey, I sent you that information the other day. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about X? And just let them talk. You may totally disagree with what they got out of it. Could be something completely different than what was intended, but let them talk. That's how conversations get started and keep going. And that's what you want, a conversation, not an exhortation, not a dissertation. You want a conversation. Let's see. Pardon my goggles here. Let everybody eat what makes them feel good. I'm B, and E, triple B and E, but that's because it makes me feel great. Yes, I totally agree with that, Lloyd. If people ask, I say limit processed foods and carbs. Absolutely. That's the best starting point you can give anybody. And then, a natural question, a natural follow-up to that could be, but how do you do that? I'm so used to all this. How do I start? And that's where you can give little pieces of information, little bits, and just kind of lead them along. Some people, anybody can do this. But if you don't know where to start, some people just need to be led, and that's not a downer. That's not condescending. That's just when you're in the middle of, chaos, you need someone to take you and lead you out of it. Be that for somebody else. Somebody was that for you. There was somebody that did that for you, whether it was online, in person, whatever. Somebody helped you sort out enough of the mess to where you could see a path through it. And then you could get on the path, and then you could start making progress. Oh, see, I love hearing this. I feel the best I have since my 20s. And hey, if you're still in your 20s, even better, huh? Me, I'm the big 5-0. And guess what? I feel better in my 50s than I did in my 40s, my 30s, my 20s, and my teens, because I grew up the fat kid that didn't know how to eat right. And I was a yo-yo, because I would eat less, move more. That didn't work. Then I'd give up. Then I'd binge. And It was a madhouse. But yeah, once you figure a few things out about you and how your body reacts to food, to sleep, to activity, to all the things, then you're going to be able to feel better than you did in your 20s. So way to go, Susan. Huzzah. Let's see. Denise was keto for 3.5 years, ketovore since April. People have a choice to eat what works for their body. Absolutely. Again, it's going to vary. I tell people all the time, your health needs are as unique as your fingerprint. And once you get to a certain point in your health journey, you're going to have to shift it up a little bit. Ask a personal trainer. Let's talk the exercise, realm for just a moment. They'll tell you, don't work. If you work the same muscle group day in and day out, you could overtrain and you could actually get diminishing returns. Whereas if you work chest one day and then back another day and legs another day, never forget leg day. And then you work arms another day, and then you do total body, then you come back to chest, then you go back and you bounce it around. Guess what? It's all going to start to rise up. But if you use the same weight all the time, guess what? You're not going to get the effect that you want either. There's a thing, it's called SAID, S-A-I-D, specific adaptation on imposed demand. That means push yourself. You're not going to get any improvement if you don't push yourself in whatever area, fill in the blank. If it's in exercise, if it's in diet, if it's in your sleep habits, if you've been going on 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep for 10 years, no one would expect you to be able to sleep soundly for 8.5 hours tomorrow. But guess what? You can gradually increase that and improve that. And guess what? Improvement comes 1% at a time. Just be better today by a little bit. Be a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. And that's all anyone can ask. So where are some areas where you guys have had some struggles, questions, concerns? You're not sure about something. Maybe anyone have any trouble with sleep hygiene? The days are a lot longer now. It's summertime. Are you guys having any issues with circadian rhythms? Some people are, and some people aren't. Any of you guys like that? Carnivore Mommy. How are we tonight, Sherry? Exercising. I hate it. Why do you hate it, Susan? Tell us why. Tell the internet why you hate exercise. That's okay. We'll wait. I promise you, you're not alone. But you don't have to be. Question somebody had earlier. What was it? Picking up half a cow. Nice. Wow. Tell us a little bit about your cow in the comments. What do you look for when you get a cow processed? What is it that you look for? What did you avoid? What are some tips that you can give to if someone's getting a cow processed? Denise says, I am sleeping better in my 60s with spine arthritis. This way of eating is helping. Yeah, sleeping better. And you've got arthritis in your spine. And that's because it's so low inflammatory, low inflammation. So even though it's not going to cure arthritis, the symptoms go down considerably. They go way down. And yeah, that's just one of the many benefits of a proper human diet: a low carbohydrate, low inflammation, low insulin way of eating. It makes all the difference. I know for me, you know, I've gotten so sensitive to certain things that I don't really have any arthritis or joint pain, but I know this: if we go out to dinner and I eat something that's maybe got some soy in it, especially soy, my hands especially. I mean, my elbows, shoulders, they'll feel it, but my hands especially, they'll get stiff, they'll get swollen. I don't like it, and I can always tell when I've eaten something that I shouldn't have. Let's see. Yes, that's a good idea, Lloyd. Find someone to exercise with, and it's great. You can hold each other accountable. That's a big thing. Community. We were designed to be communal creatures. I know the last 4 years, we've all gotten used to screens, but even before that, we have always been tribe oriented and community oriented. That's why we live in cities. That's why before that we lived in villages, and everyone had a role to play, and everybody was important, and everybody knew that the collective good was at stake. And so that's where we can help each other. You can, like Lloyd's saying, find somebody else, and it'll help them, but it'll help you too. And that's with exercise. That's with sticking to whatever flavor of PhD you're on. They don't even have to be the same, but I can say, hey, look, if you tell me, I'll hold you accountable. And if you say, I'm going to stick to 20 carbs or less a day, or I'm going to stick with 10 or less a day, and I'm going to be at 30 or less. So let's hold each other accountable, whatever it is. By holding each other accountable on all these different areas, that's going to make a big difference. Me and my wife, we tend to hold each other accountable when it comes to devices at night and getting to bed at a decent hour. We don't keep cell phones or any tablets or devices in the bedroom. I turn my phone, no audible noises, no vibrations, no lights or anything. The only thing is it has my alarm clock, and I have that like way out of arm's reach. So when it goes off, I have to get up. I have to go get it. But what that also does is that keeps any electronic little signals. I don't want all that interference coming near my brain, interfering, even potentially interfering with my sleep. Let alone vibrating and, oh, there's a text. I don't need any of that. And so we make sure that it's time to go. Device is off. Put it out there in the living room on the charger, and then and let's turn the TV off and let's just go to sleep. You can read. It's just like we tell our youngest daughter. You can turn the light out and go to sleep, or you can read for 30 minutes and then go to sleep. But having someone else that you gotta fess up to, that does make a difference. Let's see. Oh, here's some more follow-up on farmer not king. Okay. Make sure it's not raised. No hormones or antibiotics. Yes, because you're going to eat vicariously what your animal eats. So make sure that they weren't eating anything bad. Grass-fed, grass-finished, no antibiotics, even pesticides. You can look into that. And a good rancher is going to be absolutely forthcoming with all of that. Let's see. Oh, look, she's here. My lovely, darling wife is here. Don't tell her that I was talking about her. No, I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. Let's see. Lloyd says also, I work out 1 day a week with a 30-year-old friend, and I work out by myself because he pushes me. Yep. We push each other. And that's the thing, whether it's whether it's exercise, uh, your way of eating, your sleep, your attitude. Sometimes we just need to kind of, if we could, cuff somebody in the back of the neck, say, hey, come on, what are you thinking? Get your attitude right. Okay, maybe I respond to that better than others. But, sometimes if people have a poor attitude, it's going to spill over into other areas of your life. And then if you're down in the dumps, if you're Eeyore, then guess what? Then you're going to be, woe is me. And, oh, well, my macros are a little off. But what's the point? And you start going into that luge ride to depravity, and it's even harder to get out of that. But if you have someone to help keep you accountable, help keep you on task, even with your attitude, even better. And, just like Lloyd said, he works out with somebody certain days and he works out by himself other days. Get with somebody, find that one person you can get with once a week and just have a little sit down, whether it's a cup of coffee or tea, and just chat, just talk. That makes for a much better, path for you to be on. But then when you're not with them, that's a great way to get onto a personal reading program. There's all sorts of books out there on all different topics. A great place to start is in the PhD community. There's a recommended reading list, and there's all sorts of books there. And I've got some of my faves, and Julie's got her faves. But there's plenty of resources out there to keep you up on the information, on plans, whether it be an activity plan or a meal plan. There's, they're guides, not gospel. Tailor it to that fingerprint of yours. But there's also a lot of books on mindset, attitude. One of my more recent favorites is What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. What goes into the coconut from your own mouth. So many others. Here's an example. That's one of my favorites. I'm reading right now a book that my wife turned me on to. It's called The Common Rule. And it's about attitude and about limitations and freedoms and how to balance that. And but I'm also reading The Obesity Code, Jason Fung, rereading that. Amazing. It's like they added pages since I read it last. The Slight Edge is another great book that I love. So there's a lot. And of course, there's always, Lies My Doctor Told Me. I know Bronson Dance got the Ultimate Ketogenic, what's it called? Ultimate Ketogenic Resource Book, I think it's called. It's amazing. But so always keep your nose in a book, because that's going to help keep your attitude up. It's going to keep you kind of on task. Let's see. Oh, wow. Really? Said the deaf girl. Okay. Let's see. I saw something else. What is the Earth and Owl rebounding channel? Is that for the rebounders? Is that, and do they have like workout routines? Is that what that's about? Okay, here's a question. Is there a limit of electrolytes to drink daily? Again, your mileage may vary. Generally speaking, if you have Element, Relight, any of those, Ultima, any of those, the recommended amount of those is going to be like 2 packets per day, two drinks per day, maybe 3. You go beyond that, then you could run into issues of some gut issues potentially. Some people are very sensitive to that and can Yeah, because what you don't absorb, you get rid of, and sometimes you get rid of it a little bit faster. So I would say start with 2 electrolyte drinks a day. And then, if it's summertime, so if you're outside, you're sweating a lot, you're really active, then, bump it up to 3 and see how you react. If it's no bueno, well, then scale it back again. But you do want to make sure that you're getting your electrolytes. And one thing I do, in addition to, Element, Ultima, or Relight, or Salty, one of the things I do, I take the KetoCoach Daily Minerals, and I do not take, nor do I recommend you take the complete dosage all at once, because even Chris Baer will tell you it tastes not good. But I learned this from Coach Kevin. Take the dropper that comes with it. Take about 8 to 10 drops in everything you drink throughout the day. You don't notice the taste, and you get your electrolytes in. So that's good. So I put that in my coffee. I put it in my water. I put it in everything. I got a little bottle in my drawer, a desk drawer at work. We've got some here, so we make sure we have our electrolytes and keep those, the daily minerals up. But yes, it is summertime. I know it's been in the 90s here in Western North Carolina. I know it's been even hotter in other places. So always have something on you, especially those little packets. They're great to keep on you. But yeah, I would recommend, keep it around 2 or so a day, and then adjust as needed. A plethora of rebounding routine. Plethora. They have myriad routines, I guess. Trying to use some college words. It was funny. What was it? Yesterday's Monday. I was talking to somebody, and it was Monday morning, and I used the word. I don't even know why. I used the word. We were talking about some budgetary things, and I used the term fiduciarily responsible. I'm like, I haven't even had my coffee yet, and I'm not even sure why I'm using words that big. But yeah, fiduciary. So anyway, I saw something else. Well, that's interesting. You got to watch for pork farmers. I worked at a bread factory, and they would send that was trash to the farmers for their pigs. Oh, so they'd be feeding the pigs a lot of bread, a lot of dough, and then they you eat what they eat. Oh, here we go. Yeah, our son Jonathan, he's 29, works out in Florida. Yeah, it's Florida, so it's nasty hot, it's humid, and you're sweating bullets, and that's when you're in the air conditioning looking out the window in Florida. So yeah, he's got to stay up on his electrolytes. He does a lot of manual labor outside, so definitely. You're in the 60s. Oh, but you're up north, aren't you? I wish it were the 60s here. I think it's going to be a brisk, 89 degrees tomorrow. But it's better than having bad weather's better than no weather at all, right? See, that's a silver lining. Yeah, so you've been doing 1 electrolyte a day. Feel you could use more. That's great. N equals 1. Remember what that means? N, that means the number of participants, the number of subjects. So if you have 5 people in a study, that's an N of 5, or N equals 5. It's just you. N equals 1. That means you're an experiment on you. So feel free. Now don't do anything, don't let the pendulum swing completely the other direction. Monitor yourself gradually, stair step. But yeah, add another and do that not just once, but do that for a couple of days. Maybe what's today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday through Saturday. Try 2 of them. See how you feel. Do you have more? And what do you look for? Do you feel hydrated? Do you have more energy? Sometimes with dehydration and low electrolytes, you could get brain fog. You can get headaches. So yeah, look at things like that. How do you feel? Do you have energy? Do you have more clarity of thought? If you had headaches, are they gone? Things like that. What's that? Yes, it was hot in Charlotte. Yeah, IKEA. And let me just tell you, and I love my wife. But yes, 4.5 hours in IKEA. I've had my fill for a while now. But yeah, our youngest, she did not have enough electrolytes. She didn't eat enough either because she's 10. And but yeah, and it was hot, and we were walking around a lot, so it was bad, and she had a bad experience. And so yeah, always keep some on hand too. We learned that the hard way. We were like, do we have any? Oh, oops. So yeah, make sure that you have electrolytes with you. That's always good. Coach Becca, when are we going to plan a meetup? Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today, actually. So we are going to do one. We are going to, and probably before the summer is out. I know we're already in July, so I'm thinking maybe towards the end of this month, maybe first of next, but probably towards the end of this month. But more on that. So if you're in the Western North Carolina, Western to Central North Carolina, maybe even upstate South Carolina, if you're in the Tennessee area, Eastern Tennessee, we're going to have some kind of a meetup. Details will come very soon. Like I said, I was thinking about it today, and we were getting some ideas in the works because, yeah, that's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. And again, we were talking about earlier about community. We can get together and have some community and build each other up. But you know what else? This is what else is cool. There's going to be other people because we're going to be out in public. We're not going to go to some little isolated compound. We'll be somewhere we're out. We're going to be, the crazy meat eating folks. We're going to be, drawing a little bit of attention in a good way. But there's going to be people watching. There's going to be people wanting to know, what are you guys doing? What's a meet up? You spelled it wrong. And it'll be a chance for us to, tell our story to each other and to the public, and with other public listening in. How cool is that? And then, you can help improve someone's quality of life potentially. You could at least plant a seed. So yes, we're going to be doing a meetup, Western North Carolina, this summer. Count on it. Yeah, 4 hours in IKEA. I can't relate. Let's see. Yeah, cost is good. Yes, this is good too. Never get anyone without at least salt, because they have the cute little ones that you can keep with you. So even if you're in a pinch, you can always take a pinch of salt. I know that was bad. I don't care. But yeah, that way you've got something. If you just need to get a little bit of sodium to help keep you afloat, and some trace minerals, so that's going to be good. But yeah, so I'll tell you what, I'll put something out on in the Mighty Network, in our space, and maybe some other places too, about a meetup. So we'll definitely get some details out there ASAP. The deli packets. I have the deli packets of Redmond's. I'm not sure what's a deli packet other than deli meat. Yeah, the cute little shakers. And see, I can, they're small, they're discreet. You can keep them in your pocket. Do you guys have any of uh, the flavored Redmond salts? I had a hamburger tonight. I put the hickory on it, and that's pretty good. I don't do them a whole lot, but they're not bad. What do you guys think of those? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you add them as a garnish, or do you actually cook with them? Ah, okay. Well, that just makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think we got ourselves the like a 3-pack of variety just to try them out. We liked them. Uh, Becca, she likes smoked salt on all the meats. Do you have a particular favorite? Do you like was it that? I think there's like an apple, there's a hickory, there's a couple others. Cherry and apple pecan for Lloyd. Guys, it's like we should have a poll. Vote for your favorite salt. Of course, me, usually I just go with salt flavored salt. Here's another question. In the activity/exercise realm, anyone there do Pilates? She started doing it this past week pretty diligently, just about every day. And so, let me ask you this: Julie, explain to them a little bit, and I'll put it up here. Why did you start doing it, and what, even in the short length of time, what benefits have you seen to doing that so far? Good deal. You can get some of that on Amazon. And Prime Days are coming up. If you're a Prime member, I'm sure there's going to be some other deals you can get there too. Apple pecan is the bomb. So doing Pilates just for about a week or so, first thing in the morning, more energy, doing that in the mornings. And I can attest to that. Sometimes, you wake up and you're like, the generator ain't ginning, and, spark plugs aren't sparking, and the pistons, well, they're not working either. But since she started doing this, she'll do it for, I think it's about a 25-minute routine. And she gets up and she's on it. She's got energy. She's on the go. Anyone else have similar results with that? Pilates and TRX and rebounding. Yeah, TRX, I'd feel like I'd probably get so tangled up in that. Sometimes I'm not that coordinated. Pilates is amazing for core and for breath work. And I'll say this. I'm seeing that through two lenses, through the physical fitness lens, and then you say breath work. I'm looking at it also from a meditative mindfulness lens, which, again, more coming on our channel later on that. But yeah, so you can certainly double dip on some of these and do double duty. And let's see, Denise has a total gym. So are you like Chuck Norris? Now those things, I have a friend who had one of those, and they ain't no joke. I mean, you get that thing on a nice incline, and it's body weight exercise. That's what it is. Started doing it because I was stiff from being on my feet for 12 to 14 hours at work. What do you know? The burn, y'all, the burn. But it's a good burn. It gets things moving. It lets you know that you're alive, you're awake, that you can attack the day. And I know last year when we did just a movement challenge, just not even a Pilates routine or a TRX or a rebounder routine, just movement. Some people have to start there, and that's why we still have it posted in our corner of the PhD site. Is that self-guided challenge for just movement, so that every morning, there's a lot of examples of just things you can do, whether it's arm circles or planks or leg extensions, just doing something, air squats, good mornings, just something that you can do on a regular basis to get into the habit of movement. Because guess what? Then you realize that all movement can be done in different degrees. I saw a Instagram reel, and it had this very very fit, very buff a female. I don't know if she's a bodybuilder, but just she was in really good shape. She had a barbell, and she says, "I do squats," and did a really deep weighted squat. I do this so I can do this, and then it cut to an older like looks like a grandmother picking up her child. So you do a squat so you can do a practical exercise, and do it was like back and forth between different exercises and then practical movements. So functional movements, and any I would recommend that any activity that you do, any physical activity regimen you do, have it be functional movements. An isolated bicep curl, I'm not going to say it's worthless, but I'm going to say you can do a lot more. I mean, it'll make your t-shirt fit tighter and look good, but functional movements, compound movements are going to be a lot more effective, a lot more practical. So just consider that when you look at different exercises, because there's so many things out there, so many influencers out there that say this is what you should do or this is what you should do. So just take that with a grain of Redmond's real salt, smoked, and just find something that's going to help you in a practical sense. And then just find something you can do every day. You don't have to spend 3 hours in the gym to be effective. And you can do stuff even as at a low impact, and keep you in that fat burning stage throughout the day. So a lot of things to consider. Breathing really invigorates me and awakens my muscles. Yeah, you're pushing that air into your entire body. Out with the bad, in with the good. More like Christy Brinkley. Okay, Chuck Norris, Christy Brinkley. It's fine. But seriously, that machine, that's no joke. That is no joke of a machine at all. Yeah, again, and it's finding something that you can do. If carnivore mommy said she's got some issues with her back, but she can do a rebounder, she can do TRX, she can do certain things. You just got to find something that you can physically do and that you can mentally stick with. So whatever it is, it is. I know Coach Kevin, he does a lot of the body by science, which is a lot of progressive overload, heavy lifting, and there's always a place for that, a time and place for that. But you're like, you might be saying, I'm not quite there yet. Okay, you can work up to that. You don't have to start. If you've never been in this, if you've never gone swimming, you don't belong in the deep end. You belong in the shallow end, learning how to paddle and starting where you're at. So that's the one thing. Just like we keep talking about your fingerprint, where you're at right now is as unique as your fingerprint too. So just start where you are. And if that, again, here we go back to, if you need somebody else, another set of eyes to come in and look and keep you accountable, guide you. This is where coaching can come in, whether it's nutritional coaching, whether it's lifestyle coaching in general, whether it's fitness coaching. Find somebody that can come alongside of you and help you. That's what they've just been on they're just like you. They've just been on this road a little bit longer than you have. I guess that's going to be my cue as well, because I have to get up early myself. Well, yes. And if all of us are in America, all of us who are in America, this is a great week for us. It's the celebration of our independence, where we got to stand on our own 2 feet. And not to be too campy or whatever, but think of it this way: as this is your Independence Day. This is your Independence Week, because you can choose every day to be an independent thinker. You can choose every day to be an independent advocate of your own health. You can have your independence from that standard American diet, that sad way of eating, that sad way of existing, and say, from today, I'm gonna go this route. I'm gonna go a PhD, proper human diet, and a proper human lifestyle. Remember that. And just a last little word of caution: it's an eating holiday, and there's going to be all kinds of potato salad and corn on the cob, and there's going to be a lot of stuff out there that we know is not part of a proper human diet. And no one's gonna think any worse of you if you had a little taste or something. Just remember what your goals are. Hopefully you've developed some SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. Remember what your goals are. And it's an eating holiday. Load up on the meats. I know I don't generally eat 3 burgers, 2 brats, 4 hot dogs, and a steak, but it's the 4th of July, and I think that's what the founding fathers would have wanted. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, you can stay on track. It's a choice. Sometimes it's a little tough, but it's always a choice. So anyway, guys, we're going to sign off for now. Happy 4th. Enjoy the weekend, and we will talk to you soon. If you need anything from us, just reach out, okay?